In an earlier video, I talked about some free and cheap ways that you can grow plants from your garden from grocery store stuff. But there are other ways to get some plants that I haven't discussed. So let's cover those today. And also plants you should spend the money on because they just keep giving year after year. I'm going to share some of my favorites of those. So not too long ago, I went to visit my friend Reese, and she said that she has blackberries in her backyard, and they put up little runners everywhere. So I thought I'd help her out, clean up her runners, and get some free blackberries. So I came equipped with a shovel and dug up a few, and this is what I ended up with. These are the ones. I put them in the fall, and they mostly just kind of looked like sad little sticks because they were working on their roots. But now look at them. This is new growth right here. So we got this kind, and this one is the same kind, and look at that. It's got a new little sprout, and it's put up another little shoot down here. These are the same kind, and then this is a third kind. Let's see if you can barely see it down here, which I think is a white blackberry. Sounds like it doesn't make any sense, but I think that's what it is. So there you have it, free blackberries. So if you have friends who have plants like this, any kind of berries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries put out runners, maybe bring them a beer and get some plants. A sad looking little banana here. We had some cold weather recently and a lot of it froze, but it's still kicking. But I bought this as a pup. You can see it's got two pups of its own. They're a bit sad looking coming up, but I bought it as a pup. But a lot of people just have them and they just dig them up and get rid of them. There's a church up the street that has a huge banana patch, and they probably would love if I came over with a shovel and offered to divide their pups. So keep your eyes peeled around your neighborhood for banana trees. A lot of people have a big cluster of them. And if you're nice, bring some muffins and a shovel, maybe they'll let you dig up some banana trees. This is a little fig tree that I got at a nursery that was having an open house, and the first 50 people got a fig tree. So keep your eyes peeled for these type of events. A lot of times they're doing little giveaways or even raffles. They were raffling off of big fruit trees too, but still, free fig tree. It's always nice to mention it in social media and stuff afterwards, give them a good review, thank them for their hospitality, and of course when you're ready to buy plants, give them your business. Speaking of figs, they grow really well from cuttings, and a lot of times people are cutting them back in the wintertime and they just have all these sticks that they're just going to get rid of. If you see somebody with a fig in their yard, fig tree, ask them for a cutting. They're usually willing to share, and people love meeting other plant people, and they're happy to share. They're easy to root in a little vermiculite that's damp, and get a fig tree out of it, right? What are you doing, princess? People cut back a lot of their fruit trees in the wintertime, and if you already have a fruit tree like this peach, you can get some cuttings for those to graft on. So it's not a new tree, but it's an addition to your tree if you're like me and you don't have a whole lot of space. So I got these from Reese's peach tree, and I wanted a variety that produces a little later in the season, because this Florida Prince, it produces a ton of peaches early on and then it's done. So apparently hers is a little later in the season, so hopefully this is my second attempt at grafting this takes, and I'll have peaches into the summer. So the plants that you should buy, one of these is this big monster, this artichoke. I bought it as a little guy like this probably a couple years ago, and now it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It gets all sad in the summertime and then comes back monstrous in the early spring, and we just get loads of artichokes from it. So spend a few bucks. I think it was $4 for the little start on this, and we've gotten 2 or 3 years of artichokes out of it, so worth it. Another one that I like is asparagus. Now it is a little more money. I think I spent $15 for 10 crowns. So you get these little rooty things, and They put out shoots every springtime. These are too skinny, so I just let them go rather than harvest them because it's early in the season yet. But again, I think I bought these as 2-year-old crowns, so I think these are now 5 years old. And they just keep putting out the asparagus every year. I lost a couple crowns in that time, so I had saved seeds last year from one of the asparagus that made berries, and I started from seed, a couple in here to fill in the gaps. And it'll be a few years out before they're big enough to eat, but free, right? Free. Also in here, you can see, let me get down in here, strawberries. They're not producing yet, it's still a bit early, but same thing. I think I bought these a couple years ago, and they are just down here, and they just keep spreading and making strawberries. I think that might be a runner down here. Yeah, they were a little upfront investment, but worth it. Another great addition, any kind of multiplier onions. This one started out as a little 3-inch pot of onions. Actually, I think this is just half of them. The rest are over in another container, and I transplanted half of them over here. And they just keep going and going and spreading, and they'll make more of these little bulbs down here. And you never need to buy onions again, or green onions for that matter. So multiplier onions, get them.